Phobias you didn't know about. We all have things that we fear, and our fears are often ones that seem irrational to other people. When those fears reach the level where even the thought of the object of our fear causes intense anxiety, then they become phobias. Many people have common and well-known phobias such as arachnophobia, a fear of spiders, or claustrophobia, a fear of small confined spaces. Along with those common phobias that most people can understand, even if they don't share them, there are some phobias that are just plain weird and unexpected. Number 1. Euphobia, fear of hearing good news. This, we felt, had to top the list of the weird and unusual phobias out there. After all, who doesn't like hearing good news? Well, people with euphobia don't. Instead of feeling elated at hearing good news, they feel anxious and start panicking. They thrive in the negative and enjoy chaos around them. Possible reasons for developing euphobia could be persistent disappointment after hearing good news that didn't turn out to be true. For instance, one thought that she won the lottery only to find out that she had the wrong date but the right numbers. Subsequently, she will not want good news, but will find in hearing news that may not be good but is the truth. Sometimes, these people gain comfort in the chaos and may equate good news with lack of control or something that can confuse them. The phobic person will thrive better in a chaotic environment and will feel phobic when he or she hears good news. They may display symptoms of anxiety when told of good news instead of feeling elated like most others would feel. They may limit themselves to a group of friends who also share the negative emotions they also feel. Number 2. Genophobia, fear of chins. By the hair of your chinny chin chin. If your jaw is not absolutely perfect, a genophobe will not let you in. Most people with this phobia feel obsessed with other people's chins, especially those with imperfect ones. Some may fear them because they might have fallen down in the past and injured theirs, but this is very unlikely. Genophobes can't stop looking at other people's chins and may even avoid interacting with people whose chins they consider as hideous or deformed. They may become introverts in extreme cases. Treatment includes behavioral and cognitive therapy. Since all of us have chins, for those with severe genophobia, medications may be needed to alleviate symptoms. Number 3. Clinophobia, fear of going to bed. This abnormal and persistent fear of going to bed and sleeping could stem from worrying about having nightmares or a problem controlling bedwetting. Clinophobia can develop into insomnia, which can be greatly detrimental to a person's health. An abnormal and persistent fear of going to bed can turn a person real crazy. Sufferers from clinophobia experience anxiety even though they realize that going to bed normally should not threaten their well-being. However, because they worry about having nightmares or wetting the bed, they often remain awake and develop insomnia. Insomnia then can become a real threat to their well-being. Number 4. Epistemophobia, fear of knowledge. An epistemophobe just doesn't want to know. That's a pretty accurate description for this unusual fear of knowledge. People with this phobia will do anything to remain in the dark. Sufferers would limit their knowledge, avoid engaging in conversations, be ignorant, and like to be alone, resulting in social anxiety. They would also avoid reading books, newspapers, magazines, and some would even avoid watching television. This fear can be treated by simply teaching sufferers not to fear knowledge or learning because they're very important and part of everyone's lives. The phobia could have been brought on by learning about things that cause problems for the sufferer and the overwhelming feeling that not knowing would have been better. Number 5. Omphalophobia, fear of belly buttons. Pick your jaw up if it just dropped and believe it. Omphalophobia is a recognized condition in which a person suffers great distress at the sight of belly buttons. Beaches and pools are no-go zones for them. They cannot bear the sight of someone else's belly button being touched, let alone their own. Some go to great lengths to protect their navel by covering it with plaster and never wandering near it during showers. Sufferers would not touch their belly buttons or even the whole belly at all. Omphalophobia is commonly caused by traumatic childhood experiences involving belly buttons, like getting too obsessed about it, possibly resulting in poking it and risk getting hurt. Children with limited knowledge may think that belly buttons are part of umbilical cord that doctors didn't remove, but they should have. or even thinking that contents of a gut would spill out if someone tries to untie it or pulling the navel. When touching their bellies, symptoms can result like trembling, shaking, fleeing, nausea and vomiting, rapid heartbeat and breathing. Omphalophobia is often treated using hypnotherapy and psychotherapy, and can also be treated using self-help methods with assistance of friends and family without the aid of therapists like meditation, positive visualization, and gradual desensitization. This helps the sufferer expose the object they fear gently, started by looking at a photo of belly button, touching it, or letting a family member touch it. Number 6. Phobophobia, fear of phobias. This has to be the mother of all phobias. Phobophobia is generally thought to take root in people already suffering from some phobia. People with this phobia are afraid of developing one, leading to a self-replicating cycle, ultimately resulting in escalating circular fears. Some people with phobophobia already have one or more existing phobias, while others never had one but are afraid to develop one. It is often linked to other anxiety disorders such as generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, anticipatory anxiety, hypochondriasis, nosophobia, medical student's disease, cyberchondria. Phobophobia is sometimes linked to fear of mental illness. It's one of the only fears that can directly lead to a feared outcome. Sufferers would limit activities to minimize their fears, but it can lead to agoraphobia, while getting involved in specific objects or situations can lead to fears of those. Number 7. Dextrophobia, fear of objects on the right side of the body. No kidding! This is an obsessive-compulsive personality phobia with its very own twin-level phobia, or fear of objects on the left side of the body. A person suffering from dextrophobia is obsessed with maintaining order on the right side of the body, like needing things to be just so on their workstation or bedside table. Chaos or lack of organization of things on the right can bring on full-blown panic attack with chest constriction, gulping for breath, and crying. Number 8. Geomophobia, fear of taste. We thought this one must be hard to live with, literally. How would you survive if you started hyperventilating at the sight of food? To our relief, geomophobia or geomatophobia is an exaggerated and unreal fear of taste which can bring a panic attack on the sufferer at the idea of tasting something new or something with a specific flavor, like sour, bitter, salty, or even sweet. Traumatic experience of being forced to taste something horrible as a form of torture could be a possible cause of this phobia. Some sufferers would say that we should not have taste. Many sufferers would fear even pleasant tastes, while some would only fear unpleasant tastes. Sufferers would only eat familiar items while not trying anything they haven't eaten before. Symptoms include nausea, tremors, and dread. It is often treated using systematic desensitization, relaxation techniques, hypnotherapy, and energy therapy. Number 9. Geomophobia, fear of the great mole rat. The 3 blind mice very likely chased their farmer's wife to this. Geomophobia is a little-known anxiety disorder defined by a morbid fear of the mole rat. As suggested by the name, the mole rat is a kind of rat behaving like a mole. It is devoid of hair, has small beady eyes, sharp teeth, and is blind. An unfortunate experience with rats or moles could lead to geomophobia, or it could be brought on by the somewhat off-putting naked appearance of the creature. Number 10. Catophobia, fear of sitting down. Sit tight for this one. Catophobia is a rare psychological disorder that sends the sufferer in panic mode at the thought of sitting down. Hemorrhoids, physical abuse, and punishment by being forced to sit on sharp objects are considered possible reasons for developing this irrational fear. Some cataphobia only experience symptoms of anxiety at the thought of sitting down in the presence of celebrities and elites.